Hey guys, welcome to another tank review. Today we'll be reviewing the Skoda T25, the Czechoslovakian Tier 6 medium tank. The medium tank line is the only current Czechoslovakian line in the game. And I quite like the line. Obviously I'm only at Tier 6, I'm still grinding the credits for the Tier 7. Which doesn't look like it's going to be too much fun, but I'll be sure to do a review on that when I feel I'm doing okay in it. But let's get on to the Tier 6 tank. So the Tier 6 tank, you start off with the Tier 5 gun, the same one that the T24 got, and the T24, it was okay at best, but the Tier 6 is what we're interested in. So you start off with the same gun from the T24, which is a 75 millimeter gun with 132 millimeters of penetration and 110 damage per shot, with pretty bad DPM. You get a 12.77 rate of fire, which I think tanks on the Cromwell is closer to 20 rate of fire. So it is quite a big difference. So you want to get out of this gun as soon as possible. I'm not sure if you need the tracks for it. I think you do, actually. Yeah, I think you do. I think you do need the tracks in order to get to the the autoloader gun, which is the one you should always use. Like, there's no reason to use this smaller gun. It's just worse in every single way. You don't need the upgraded turret for this gun, which is huge, because you want to get this gun as fast as possible. The radio, I think you get that on the Tier 5. Yeah, you do. You get the radio on the Tier 5, so you can do that if you're comfortable in this, because this has it's not an awful tank to grind. It's not the best, but it's not awful. It's a fairly quick tank. It can stay around 50 to 60 kilometers per hour. I think the top speed's 60. Is it a pretty tank? No, God, no. It's so ugly, and it's really large actually, compared to the IS-3, which is also which is actually 2 tiers higher, and is a heavy tank. It's about the same size. The IS-3 is longer, but this is a lot taller. And I think the IS-3 might be a little bit wider as well. Yeah. So this is a very tall tank, and with the 10 degrees gun depression that you get with it, you can look down on your enemies fairly well. As for armor on this tank, it has almost none. It's not really noteworthy at all. If you get hit in the turret, it's going to bounce unless they hit the auto bounce region here or here, and I think this might even be an auto bounce region, but I wouldn't count on it. So the armor, don't rely on it at all. Pretty much what this tank does so well, and like most autoloaders like the T54 E1 for example, as long as you trade one shot for your entire clip, you'll pretty much be doing fine. Especially against other mediums. Like if you trade one shot against a Cromwell for your entire clip, he's going to be losing that fight very quickly, because you're getting almost 200 what is that, 200 damage off on him almost. So the clip, it holds 3 shells that all do 110 damage. So that's 330 damage with 132 millimeters penetration. That's not great penetration, but it's not horrible either. The Sherman Easy 8, if I can find it right there, this only gets 128 millimeters of penetration with 115 average damage. And that's even less accurate, and I'm pretty sure with a slower aim time than the Skoda is. Yep. So you're going to be aiming faster, you're going to be more accurate with an autoloader, with more penetration, with a little bit less average damage, but with an autoloader that doesn't really matter, than an Easy 8. It's a good tank. I like this tank. I got 2 marks of excellence on it before 100 battles. I think it's a 80. Yeah, it's a 86. Is that everything I need to go over? I'm pretty sure it is. There was one thing I wanted to go over. What was that? Oh, right, equipment. So, equipment, you can't mount a rammer on this, which makes me very, very salty, even though it's an autoloader, and, you know, autoloaders almost never get, I don't think you can get a rammer on an autoloader, but, so, I wanted to maximize the DPM on this tank, so I instantly got vents. Like, that was one of the very first things I got, and I'm pretty sure they're fairly cheap. It doesn't say. I think it was around 50,000, maybe 100,000, I don't know, can't remember. So the vents are very cheap. I would recommend you get them because there's no point in not having them. Coated optics, if you can afford to spend the money on it, go for it. I knew I was going to keep this tank for a very long time, so I wanted to keep the optics on here. If you're really interested in getting a third equipment slot, which I'm not, I would go enhanced gun laying drive, because a stationary Skoda is a dead Skoda, so toolbox won't really do anything for you. CO2, no. Just no. So the GLD is probably the best thing to go for. Binocs, there's no point in having binocs when you have coated optics on this, because you don't need that much view range. The spall liner, no. I had this on here for, I think to get the gun, and then I used the gun to research the tracks. That was the way I went. If you have the free XP to spend on the tracks, then get the tracks and then the gun. But that's just what I did. And pretty much everything else on here is self-explanatory. Alright, so I think that does it for the review. I keep 48 AP shells, 9 APCR, and 3 HE. 48 AP because you really don't need too much APCR, and the 3 HE for resets if I need to. But, yeah. Alright, let's get into the first replay. Alright guys, here's the first replay. We are on Serene Coast, I think that's the name of the map. And it is a tier 8 game. So we're bottom tier, that's not too great. But I point out to the team that winning 9-0 is the only chance that we really have at winning this game. Because, let me just pause it real quick and explain why. So if you look at the, if you look up the lineup here, we have a 5100 and an IS-3 to their IS-3 and IS-6. So that's giving us a disadvantage at the 9-0. Assuming that everyone goes to the flank they should be, respectively. We have a M4A1 Ravioli. They have 3 tier 8 mediums, all with good depression. We have a Rheinmetall Borsig. They have a Rheinmetall Borsig, that's fine. We have a tier 8 artillery, they have a tier 8 artillery. We have 4 tier 7 heavies to their 1. We have 2 tier 7 TDs to their 1. We have 1 tier 6 heavy to their 1, 2 tier 6 mediums to their 2, and a tier 6 light to their 1, and they have 2 extra tier 6, 2 extra tier 6 TDs. Okay. So what does this tell us? They have more mediums. That's pretty much what I'm trying to say. Seeing as they have more mediums, they have 5 to our 3, and we have more heavies than they do, we should be able to push the 9-0 line, which is where most of the heavy brawling goes on. So I want to get into a very quick position here, where I can shoot heavies that are trying to push into the 9-0 quickly. This MT25, I'm almost positive he spotted me because just he's a light tank, and he had line of sight. Plus that shot right there just told me that I'm lit. So I wait a couple seconds to see if I get unlit, and I poke out to shoot this IS-3, and he knows I'm there because he looked right at me. So I took one shot at him. I didn't want to unload my entire clip because he's gonna hit me, even if I hit all 3, which I only got 1, and that one was a critical hit / bounce. I can't remember which one. It's not a worthwhile trade. The only time you wanna do something like that is when you know that you're gonna get something out of it. So the first one I aimed carefully. The second one I knew he was not gonna snapshot me, because if he did, that'd be stupid and ridiculous and hacks. So I just snapped the second one because I just wanted to see if I could get it. That was my fault. I backed out at a bad angle, and I should have known that I was going to be still spotted. So now I know there's a KV-85 and an IS-6 here. IS-6 I have no chance of penetrating. unless I fire gold, which still is not 100% chance because I have 6 armor is a thing. So I start backing off thinking I might have to run away, but then I see that the cavalry arrives, and I have a Tiger and an IS-3 here, both high penetration guns, and they're going to be able to help. The IS-6, he gets himself into a bad spot here. The IS-3 and the Tiger have him on 2 sides, and T25, or the Yak Panther, I don't know what he's doing. So that might have been 1 shot of damage. Wasn't really watching as carefully as I should have been. So I load gold for him because I just want to take some shots and get back as fast as possible. I don't want to have to bounce shots. It's going to help secure the kill on him. And that's what I really need to do. So I see this IS-6 now. Again, I can't pen him with AP unless I get super lucky and get like a cupola shot, or maybe even the upper plate driver hatch thing that is still pretty sketch about penning. So I see that the KV-85 turns his turret. I take 1 shot, miss, hit the side, take another one, hit the turret. Last one goes in the IS-6. I didn't expect it to pen, but it didn't. So it's not a huge loss for me. Alright, so now that we won this flank, we can just push. And like I said, they won the 1-2 line with very little effort. I think we only had a couple tanks go there. I think the 5100 went there, and maybe the Rudy, I don't know. So I push over, and I was a little bit worried because I thought the Rheinmetall was going to be able to shoot me from the B line around there, but luckily he wasn't. So I just pushed past him, or I push up to the D8 area. So I see that the Rheinmetall's low on health. I see that the T25 too is also fairly low. So I get a clip into him. That's a really good trade because he can only do 240 if he hits, which he didn't. And I do 330. He's firing HE for some reason. I guess it's just kind of like the noob round of choice, because it always does damage. That's the new meta. So at this point in the game is kinda secured. Mostly. The only way that they can turn the tide is if they stop the push on their base, and that would pretty much win them the game. So I see the artillery. I want to kill him as soon as possible because, again, artillery is all fair and balanced and will one-shot you. It doesn't matter if you are upside down or not even in the same map, they will one-shot you. I don't know what it is about that patent Korea, or whatever it's called. That thing is really troll. Like, the armor on it, it's weird. So the CDC has paper armor, I know that. So I start shooting at it. That's a rare thing, a bounce. So I start shooting at the Jagdpanzer. There's just the gun misbehaving. I didn't want to spend too much time aiming between shells, because your reload time, I think, is just barely faster than your aim time. So I just take the shots anyway. And that was 1937 damage and 2 kills in a tier 8 game. So I was still able to pull my weight in a tier 8 game, even though I was bottom tier. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at the next replay. Alright guys, here's the next replay. We are on Ruinberg, and this is a pretty good matchup. Yeah, we're top tier, that's a plus. And we also only have to worry about a couple tanks on the enemy team. The Skoda, we don't want to get clipped by him, because Skoda versus Skoda is pretty brutal usually, because you don't really bounce any shots, unless you're really bad at aiming or you get some horrible RNG rolls. The OI, which I like to call the OI, because it's fun to say and it sounds funny. So I don't want to have to fight the OI, because he might be using that massive derp gun that they get for some reason. So I don't want to have to deal with that. The SU-100Y, that's not going to be too cool to deal with because of that massive alpha gun. But an OI experimental, I can work with that. So right here, I just aim for the angled front plate there. The gun's not too accurate, but it does the job. I'm just gonna fast forward through this bit because they're just all gonna be staring at me for the next couple, for the next about 30 to 60 seconds or so. So I let the Dicker Max and the Cromwell know that they're not gonna get anything done from there. There's no people at the E1 area that they can shoot at, so I tell them that they should probably move. So they start moving, which is awesome. I usually don't see a lot of people listening to my advice, which is fine. I don't expect them to always listen, but sometimes it's just the best thing to do. So here I see on my map that the sorry about that, my Skype just went off. I see that the Sherman Jumbo is missing, so I went over here to try to get some shots onto him because I wanted to weaken him from my team. But plot twist, the SU-100Y was here, and he's still on full health. Now, I can't clip either one of these guys, which is really bad. So I don't want to poke out and take a potential of, what is that, 55 damage or something stupid like that. So I don't want to take that much damage. So I'm just gonna pull back because there's no point. So this T1 Heavy, I think he just kind of misreads where I'm going somehow, and looks like he's about to block me, but he doesn't, which is cool. But this T1 Heavy, he should have been coming around with me to help just stay alive, mainly. By staying there, he's not doing anything for himself. He's just kind of throwing himself away. It almost looks like he goes AFK there. I know he doesn't, but it almost looks like he does. So he takes a shot at the SU-100Y, misses. I see at the SU-100Y fires, which is my opportunity to go and shoot the SU-100Y. I go for the tracking shot there. That was a misplay because it's way too angled. Even if I did track it, it wouldn't have done damage. I should have gone for the damaging shot. So, just a classic move here. I go to flank. I look back at the AMX-40. I really need to put this on Do Not Disturb. And I think about going after him, but I know that I need to kill the SU-100Y and the Sherman Jumbo. The OI takes out the Sherman Jumbo, which is great for me. So I go for the lower plate shot there. I don't know why I aim for like common weak spots on the SU-100Y. It's not like it has a ton of armor. I get hit by artillery because skill. That was a very, very close call. I almost got hit by the SU-100Y. I kill him. Whew. A lot of commentating. So I move on, and I see that the Cromwell's not doing too well against the AMX-40 somehow. I don't know how you can fail in a fight like that. But he gets killed by the Dicker Max in the center, which was probably the actual threat that he was having. So I don't know why I was being so careful about fighting this AMX-40. I guess I thought that there was something more dangerous back there. It must have been the artillery, because I usually have very, very bad luck with artillery. So I'm using my clip awfully here. I should rush him, take the hit, and then just deal with the hit. But I'm not. I'm being very iffy about it. But on the bright side, I don't take any damage there. So I don't have to worry about having less health in the future. So I see the Skoda, and I was about to go deal with him, but the OI took him out. So now it's 2v4. Me and the OI versus a Cromwell, a Dicker Max, an SU-85B, who's right there. That's great. So I rush my shots because I'm nervous about getting shot at by the enemies like that. I already used my repair kit earlier this match, so now I'm ammo wrecked. Things just got a whole lot more dangerous. So I tell the OI that I am ammo wrecked, and it's also just for the general knowledge of the team. That way they don't call me a new camper and things of that nature. I see the Dicker Max there, so now I'm kind of I can't move on both sides. The Dicker Max has me pinned here, and the Cromwell has me pinned here. So I see that the Cromwell's shooting at the OI, so I pull out and I start to shoot at the Cromwell. But I don't want to trade with the Cromwell in that situation because he's hull down to me, and that's not cool. So I see the Dickermax fire, so I pull out and I put 2 shots into him. 208 damage. I got a low roll. I missed out on 12 damage there. So that's kind of meh. But even with an ammo rack damaged, it's not like the reload's super long. I mean, of course you lose out on a ton of DPM, but it's really not that bad. I get a full clip into the Cromwell. That's really awesome. So here I tell the Oi that he needs to either rush the Cromwell, or he needs to go back and fight the Dickermax. He has to pick one. He can't just be chilling in the middle, because artillery is going to be giving him attention, and we can't have that. If this Oi dies, I'm pretty much screwed. And the team is screwed as well. So here, I'm just waiting for someone to get spotted. I see that the Oi is backing up, which makes him such an obvious target for the Cromwell, because he's not even angling for the Cromwell. And he's also making himself a fairly large target for the artillery, and I'm pretty sure at that area that you can get hit by it, because they can just fire over the buildings. So again, I pinged the map, and I said, you just gotta kill one of them, and then I told them to pick one. So the other Oi said, OMG, go for cap. And then the M6 said, Skoda, go light something up. Are you dumb? And that was the Oi again. So I said no. So I am wasting a lot of time talking with my team here, but right now I'm just trying to even out the game. I'm trying not to get hit too much, because if I use my HP now, I'm not going to have it when I really need it. So, seeing as the Oi is here, I know that the Dickermax is not just going to become YOLOing around the corner, kind of like this Cromwell just did. So I make a huge mistake here. I got nervous. When I took that first hit from the Cromwell, I should have aimed the rest of my shots and just gone with it, because that wouldn't have killed me. One hit from a Cromwell is going to be a lot less devastating than a Cromwell dead on their team, so I have to take an extra hit. It really sucks, but it was my fault. It was my misplay. So right now I'm at 2,525 damage, which is a great game for even some tier 7s for me, because you know I'm not very good at tier 7s. So now that the Cromwell's dead. Now that the Cromwell's dead, I can flank around and kill the Dickermax, which is why I was trying to push hard on that Oi to tell him to kill one. He has to kill one, because once he kills one, we're gonna be able to flank the other. So now that the Cromwell's dead, I go after the Dickermax. In the back of my mind, I'm keeping, I'm trying to remind myself that the tier 4 artillery is still alive, and he could fair and balance me any minute, because artillery is cool like that and doesn't really care if you're going 50 or if you're going 0. It will hit you. So I just killed the Dickermax really easily. Now this is just me trying to get into artillery cover. So even though I just see out of the corner of my eye, I didn't see that while I was actually playing the game, that the artillery took a shot at the OI. Okay, that was just me trying to pick whether I wanted to call it the OI or the OI. RIP. English is OP. So there's the artillery. He sees that I was trying to cap, I guess, and he just starts to go low at me. I just shut him down. So 5 kills, 2,739 damage, and a 2v4 situation. That's not too bad, in my opinion. Alright, I think this game was also an ace tanker, unsurprisingly. 5 kills and 2,739 damage will do that. So let's go back to the garage and just take an overview of the tank one more time, and we'll end the video there. Alright, so after looking at those two replays, we can see a few things that they had in common. One, the tank is very, very adaptable. With a 7.5 second intro clip time, you can definitely utilize that, and it's almost like a standard tank. For example, I think the T25 has a reload time of about 6 seconds, 5 seconds, somewhere around there, I want to say. That is really, it's useful. It is useful. Because you can utilize that to trade fast with heavies that have a longer reload. For tanks like the the Skoda T25, you can do kind of the same thing. You can trade 330 damage and then 7.5 seconds later do the same. Well, not 7.5 exactly, because you have that intro clip time. But 7.5 seconds later, about, it's probably closer to 9. You can do the same exact thing, and that's really, really good. So it's also a very quick tank because it has no armor, and it has a fairly powerful engine of 500 horsepower. So you can shift around the map quickly, get out your clip, reload quickly, and then leave if you need to. So I think this is a very, very good tier 6. As for strongholds, I think it could be possible. I mean, my T3045, for example, because this was the only tier 6 I had at the time that I was doing strongholds, it was okay, and it could work decently in strongholds. The only thing that held it back was its speed, and that's because on strongholds you have to get around the map quickly and use DPM in order to win against the opponent. So tanks like the Cromwell and the T37, they do very well in strongholds because they're fast. They have pretty potent guns that reload quickly, and that's kind of what they're about. The T25, I think, actually could have a niche in strongholds. It is quick enough that I think it'd be able to work. However, it is very tall, which is a downside, because if you're trying to run away from someone, there's a very large profile to hit. But the gun is extremely dangerous. Let's take the T3485 for example again. So if a Skoda T25 shoots you in the upper plate 3 times, that is 330 health gone. That is almost half of your health gone in less than 1.3 seconds between each shell. So that's like 330 health gone in 2.6 seconds, and then he's gonna do it again in 7.5. It's crazy. So it can be very, very dangerous to have on the battlefield, because I've had a couple times where I was grinding low tier tanks, and I've seen one of these, and I was like, oh, that's not a huge deal, because I wasn't aware of what it did, and there goes half my health. It's incredibly dangerous. I think I was grinding the Easy 8 to get this. But that pretty much wraps up my review. I would recommend it, definitely. It's one of the 3 good tanks, or better tanks on the Czech line. Those 3 tanks being this one, the Skoda T25, the Skoda T50, which has that 3-shell autoloader that's mean, and of course the tier 10, the TVP T50/51, which in my opinion is broken at the moment because it does 320 damage with each shell, and it has 4 of them that it unloads in like 4.5 seconds. It's so stupid. Alright, so that wraps up this review. If you have any questions, you can leave a comment down below. If you enjoyed the video, you can leave a like, or if you want to see more content like this from me, you can subscribe, or you can leave a comment telling me that you want to see more content like this. You can request a tank. Like I said, if I have it in my garage, I will think about doing it, because some of these tanks I do better in than others. Some of the ones I really enjoy are the E50. I mean, it's kind of hard not to like the E50. The T125, which is currently my highest damage per game tank in my garage. Actually, on my account, I think. And one other example that I'd be comfortable doing is the T62A, which I actually might do, because that sounds like fun. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next video, which is most likely going to be the T62A, unless I see a comment which asks for a different tank. Alright, thanks for watching.